Right then, so as you guys probably know by now, the Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol undercard has officially been announced. Riyadh season. Again, we are back in Saudi Arabia, October 19th. I cannot wait for Bivol versus Beterbiev. It's a huge fight, and we've got the undercard announced. And if I'm being real, there's been a lot of mixed opinions on it. I've seen a big number of people who have been very happy about this undercard that has been announced, but others pretty critical of it. And we're going to go through it, and we're going to, go through the truth of it, really. And is it really as bad as what people are saying? Because, I'm going to go through the reasons in a minute. We're going to get the card up on the screen now. Here we go. Right, done. So, obviously, as we know, we got Shakur Stevenson versus Joe Cordina on this card, which I think is a perfect fight to have on this card. Like, there's zero complaints about a fight like Shakur Stevenson versus Joe Cordina, because obviously Shakur Stevenson on the card for the American audience, of course, and for the British audience, we've got Joe Cordina. So it's a big money fight as well, in my opinion, 100%. Obviously, yes, Cordina is coming off a loss, but he was looking a little bit shaky at super featherweight anyway, so I think it is a good idea for him to go up to lightweight. So this should be a good fight overall, and I think Cordina causes Shakur more problems than what people do think. But yeah, overall, this kind of one's a perfect fight to have Shakur Stevenson versus Joe Cordina on this card. No complaints about that. Then we've got Chris Eubank Jr. versus Kamil Sarimeta. Sazrameta. That's what his name is. Kamil Sazrameta. This is one which I get the complaints about. And the reason why is because I think, let's be real, the majority of us wanted to see Chris Eubank Jr. in a big fight in the UK. Second of all, Kamil Sazrameta isn't really a big name at all. We wanted to see Eubank in a big fight, and Eubank Jr. is not really taking any world-class matchups, if we're being completely real. He's not taking any world-class matchups, and that's the same thing. Like, people say, oh, Liam Smith was. He's at his prime. He was out his prime in those fights, if we're being real. People would say Liam Williams, he was out of his prime. Like, that's the thing. And Kamil Sazrameta, like, he's not a top guy. He's not a top middleweight, really, if we're being real. He's no elite fighter. And that's the negative. That's why people are being a bit negative about it. And, also Boxer itself as well. They've stuck, let's be real, they've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, I think Jack Massey's as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, yeah, they've got like 4 of their fighters on this card, and Boxer are kind of messing themselves up as well, absolutely destroying Sky Sports Boxing, for being real as well. Look, we obviously then go to Fabio Wardley versus Fraser Clark, the rematch. Great fight, as we know. Like, every single one of us UK fans wanted to bloody see this fight without a shadow of a doubt. This is, fight of the year contender for their first fight. But on a Saudi Arabia card, it's not like I would have expected to be higher than the Eubank fight on the card. But it's a co-main event worthy fight. And, you just got it all stuck in the middle of this card, really. And, they should have done it again at the O2, like a big rematch at the O2. But doing it in Saudi Arabia, and I don't like the fact that a British title is on a show in Saudi Arabia when they could have just got it on in England again. That's the thing. So, or they could have done Manchester Arena or something. Like, I don't think there's any need for them to do it on this card. And that's the thing. I think there's other fighters who you could bring in my opinion. Like, possibly someone like William Zepeda, who you could get on this card, because he'll be a class 1 for this. But 2 British fighters fight for the British title on a Saudi card, as great of a fight as bloody is. And, to be fair, though, we just wanted to see it happen. But I'm just saying it would have been better if it was in the UK. Then we got Jai Patel versus Jack Massey. Let's be real. again, it's for Jaya Patea. I don't get this fight. I really don't get this fight for Jaya Patea. Like, I really don't get it. Why Jack Massey's been stuck in there with him? I just see it as a pointless fight, really. I just see it as a pointless fight. Simple as that, to be fair. Stick Jaya Patea in there with a bigger name, even though, yes, Jaya Patea should be on these Saudi cards 100%. I'm happy Jaya Patea is on the card. Perfect guy to have on a card like this, 100%. But you can't go from fighting Breeders to fighting Jack Massey. You just can't do that. You just can't do that. So, that's pretty unfortunate overall, in my opinion. Ben Whittaker versus Liam Cameron, I think, is a great fight. Liam Cameron obviously took Lyndon Arthur to a close decision recently. And I think it's a real good, tough test for Ben Whittaker, which I think he'll win. Again, though, could have done it in England. Like, this is a fight which did not need to be on a Saudi card. Simple as that. You don't need to get Ben Whittaker on a Saudi card. That's the thing. Like, he's one of boxer's biggest prospects. Like, get him on a main event in boxer. Like, for boxer, again, like Ben Whittaker, Liam Cameron is main event worthy for a Sky Sports fight, in my opinion. But now they've got them on I know, like, the money's involved and all, but at the end of the day, like, thinking, like, if I was Turki Al-Sheikh, there'd be something else I was thinking of, and let them just get it on in the UK. That's what I would have thought. Great fight, though. Great fight. Then we got, Sky Nicholson versus Raven Chapman. Fair play. Got a women's fight on the card. That's important. Zero complaints about that at all. Sky Nicholson, Raven Chapman. Good technical fight, in my opinion. Two good boxers. Good fight, in my opinion. And, two popular women in the space as well. So both of them definitely deserve this. No complaints about that. Then, they've got obviously Mohammed Aklau in a fight as well. Obviously, a Saudi guy who they're trying to start bringing up as well. So obviously, no complaints about that. Let's be real. Overall, we've got some great fights here. We got some absolutely fantastic fights on this card, but at the end of the day, it's like I just feel like some fights just didn't need to be on this card. Like, you could have gone elsewhere. Great fights, bloody great fights, but some just didn't need to be on this card. But Chris Eubank Jr., I think, is pretty disappointing opponent for him. This should be in England. Good to see Jai on the card, but if you need better opposition, then this should be in the UK as well. But other than that, solid card. I really like the Shakur Stevenson-Joe Cordina fight. Really like that fight. Anyway, thank you all for watching this video, King Oz. Speak to you in a bit. Thanks for watching. Peace.